Hello and welcome to this week's Ruby Shoes podcast, delivering the very best local entertainment news across East Anglia each and every week. This week on the Ruby Shoes podcast, so much going on around sunny Suffolk to tell you about. First, we talk to actor Tom Richardson, who's coming to Bury St Edmunds from tomorrow in Just Between Ourselves, and he has a surprising revelation for me. We catch up with director of Sister Act, which is in its final rehearsals at the Riverside Theatre in Woodbridge. Then we hear from Navet Bet, who'll be bringing Treasure Island to the new Wolsey Theatre later this month. Plus, as always, a roundup of some of the region's top theatre shows you won't want to miss. London Classic Theatre's new touring production of Alan Ayckbourn's Just Between Ourselves is coming to the Theatre Royal in Bury St Edmunds from Tuesday the 3rd through to Saturday the 7th of June. 5 birthdays, 2 unhappy marriages and 1 possessive mother. In perhaps his most emotionally charged play, Alan Ayckbourn masterfully evokes a world of hidden tensions and suppressed hostility. He expertly navigates the tightrope between comedy and tragedy, guiding us towards a hilarious yet chilling finale. Tom Richardson, who plays Dennis, joins us now. Welcome. Tell us all about Dennis, and for anyone who's not familiar with this particular Alan Ayckbourn play, just tell us the plot in a nutshell as well, please, Tom.
Okay, hi. Yes, I play Dennis, and the play is set in my garage. So it's very much a play set in a quote-unquote man cave, really, in the 70s. I mean, he spends all his time in there avoiding actually confronting anything within the house. So it requires everyone to come into his space for anything to happen, which, you know, it's set in 1976. It still feels very relevant today in the way that people communicate, or more importantly, in this play, don't communicate. And that's very much what it's about crossed wires. And perhaps sometimes, without giving too much away, the play being about things being too late, you know, missing those opportunities. And I think people can see how we can relate to those even now, you know, relate to those feelings.
Oh, definitely. You can literally see yourself, can't you? You can see it on stage, and that's why it's ever so slightly uncomfortable almost, because you think, oh, it's kind of a reflection of sorry, I've just realised I've left my emails on. Let me just get rid of that for a minute, Tom. Oh, I'm always doing that. Go away, emails.
No worries.
You can kind of see it as a reflection of yourself, and it makes it ever so slightly uncomfortable at times, because you think, oh, yes, I'm guilty of that. But then there's you know, something else happens, which we won't say, and it's really funny and you can laugh about it, and it's kind of the tension is then released again.
Absolutely. That's how he does it. Yeah, that's how Alan Ayckbourn's such an expert. And this play isn't done very often. It's quite surprising. It can take you by surprise. And I think everyone that's come to see it so far has been really pleased to have been able to see a production of it, because it's not done often. But yeah, very much so. All those things that make you feel uncomfortable within yourself that you may not want to think about, but sometimes you do. I mean, they're cathartic feelings, you know, to actually explore them. And everybody, you can hear everybody leave talking about the play and what happens to the characters.
Say that, literally, when you leave, you drive home and you're still talking about it. It's one of those sort of plays as well. So you'll have a really good night, but actually be really thought-provoking as well. And I think that's a really good piece of theatre. And why would we be surprised? I mean, it's Alan Ayckbourn after all. Now, it's a very special year because it's all being put on, as said, by London Classic Theatre. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary, and this production is kind of the centrepiece to those celebrations when it arrives in Bury St Edmunds, which is wonderful. You've previously appeared in Abigail's Party, I know. Tell me about other sort of highlights for you throughout your career so far.
Yeah, I mean, Abigail's Party, I mean, it's a dream to be part of. I mean, it was just an absolute dream. Although I don't miss having being this. I was playing Lawrence, and who's Beverly's husband, being that stressed out all the time. So I don't miss that. My body was a bit of a mess on that job. Yeah, I mean, I've been very lucky to. When I left drama school, I wanted to really pursue theatre. It was all I wanted to do. and I grew up going to the theatre a lot. And I've been very fortunate that I've been able to work in a lot of regional theatre, which was always my goal. And it's sad to see a lot of the theatres having such a rough time with funding and audiences, and it's a tough time for theatre. I mean, it always seems like it is a tough time for theatre, but at the moment, especially in the region, so it's wonderful to be able to promote a play with you today and talk about it today, because we'd love more people to come. It's fantastic play.
Very, very important to support our lovely, lovely theatres. And so we absolutely love that. What was the very first production you ever saw as a child that kind of inspired you and got you into theatre, do you think?
It would have been a pantomime, I reckon. Probably. We used to live I used to live in Kent, and we used to live near the Orchard in Dartford. So it would have been somewhere like that. And there would have been some celeb in it or something, and I would have gone. We used to go sometimes to see big musicals. I'd go and see Oliver in the West End, and I was about 11. And I was like, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. So yeah, lots of plays, lots of musicals, but wanted to pursue plays, really, yeah.
And then final question for you, Tom. Thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. After Just Between Ourselves, which is coming to the Theatre Royal in Bury in June, what happens next? What's next up for you when you get to the end?
Well, we've got a few more weeks of the tour after that. We finished the tour in Cheltenham in the middle of July, and then I'm currently auditioning and hoping that something comes along. But yeah, you never know. Around at the moment is when they start to think about casting shows for Christmas already. So yeah, so we'll see.
We'll look forward to seeing you somewhere on stage as well after this, but definitely when you come to the Theatre Royal in Bury St Edmunds, say it's between Tuesday the 3rd, Saturday the 7th of June. If you want to get your tickets, it's theatreroyal.org. So snap them up quick. It's the most beautiful theatre. Have you been to Suffolk and the Theatre Royal before?
Yes. Yeah, we did Abigail's Party there.
Oh, you literally did it there.
And I used to work at the Mercury in Colchester.
Part
of their company years back. And we were at Ipswich at the start of the tour. We were at the Wolsey, so we've been in the area.
The funny thing is, I'm looking at you and I'm thinking, well, you look like the chap who did it at the Wolsey. Obviously, you are, because you were him.
Yes.
I don't know why I didn't put two and two together. I was literally looking at you and I thought, well, that's remarkable, because you look so much like the chap who did it when I saw it at the Wolsey.
What Abigail's Party you been?
Yes, I think I saw you at the Wolsey. Have you done Abigail's Party and also this one as well, Just Between Ourselves?
Yeah. It was February. Yeah, it's this production.
I knew. Yeah, it was Just Between Ourselves. I can see you with your Mini tinkering on it in the garage.
Oh, they are.
It's literally. As soon as we started talking, I thought that was brilliant. As soon as we started talking, I thought, well, you look so much like him. How weird is that? They've cast two people who almost look identical.
No, it's still me. It's still doing it.
No, you did it very well. So well done, Tom. How lovely to talk to you, and well done, because we did. We saw it, we loved it, and then, as I said, we drove home and we talked about it, for the rest of the evening. So fantastic. Lovely to chat to you, Tom. Have a great weekend, and we'll look forward to seeing you in Bury St Edmunds.
Thank you so much.
From Wednesday the 11th through to Saturday the 14th of June, the Riverside Musical Theatre Company bring you Sister Act, the feel-amazing musical comedy smash based on the hit 1992 film that has audiences literally jumping to their feet. Features the original music, of course, by Tony and the 8-time Oscar winner Alan Menken. It's directed and choreographed by Sam DeVita. Sister Act, if you don't know, it's absolutely filled with powerful gospel music, outrageous dancing, and it's a really, truly moving story. It's just a sparkling tribute to the universal power of friendship, and I'm delighted to say that Sam joins us now for the Ruby Shoes podcast. Welcome, Sam.
Hello.
Hello, lovely to be talking to you today. Now, tell us about the story. If anyone's not familiar with the brilliant film that, of course, starred Whoopi Goldberg, is the musical very similar to the film?
It is very similar. Basically, it's the same story. Dolores Van Cartier is a singer in a club, and she's desperate to become a star. and she witnesses a shooting that happens. There's lots of thugs involved. She witnesses the shooting and she runs away and manages to get away and gets to the police station. And then the policeman, Eddie, comes up with the great idea. He's going to hide her in a convent with a bunch of nuns. And that's where she goes to hide out. And then obviously the thugs are trying to track her down to find out where she is, which they do eventually. But they get caught. All baddies always do.
Of course.
And along the way, there's lots of amazing music, as you said.
Yeah, because Dolores is literally teaching the nuns to sing. We don't want to give too much away, but most people know the story. And it's one of my all-time favourite movies. It's so funny. And the music,
it's very funny.
You can't help, singing and dancing and really, really enjoying it. It's so uplifting. You must have an absolute, raft of brilliant singers on board to bring this musical to life. We've
been working extremely hard since January. My ladies who are playing with the nuns have done a tremendous job. They've been taught everything by Jade, who is one of our MDs, who always teaches all the vocals. And they have literally worked their socks off. And they sound stunning, absolutely stunning. I'm so pleased.
Oh,
so
wow.
Yeah, lots of hard work.
I bet. Yeah, that's the thing. We don't always see that from the audience. We just enjoy the evening, but there's a lot of hard work goes on behind the scenes. What made you want to direct this particular musical?
So this year I wanted to do something that was a bit more joyous and happy. Last year we did Made in Dagenham, and the year before was Calendar Girls. There was lots of tears in both of those shows. This one has got a lot more choreography in it, a lot more upbeat numbers, and I just wanted to do something that was just fun, and we certainly have had fun during rehearsals.
I bet. And what's your favourite scene from the whole thing? I mean, it's all brilliant, but is there a particular part that you think, when this comes up, I just, my heart sings because I love this bit?
This is always a tricky question when it comes to musicals. I know this is quite a few people's favourite bit of the show. It's when the nuns first sing Raise Your Voice, which is kind of just towards the end of Act 1, and it's when Dolores just got hold of them because their singing was awful. And then and it's such a long song, but it's kind of their journey as well of getting their voices. It goes on for quite a long time, and I think that's a really, really big moment in the show. So it's got a big finish. It's just great.
Oh, wonderful. And how are the rehearsals going? Because, it's like any play, the rehearsals is quite tense, but then you've got a musical as well. And you're dancing, there's a lot to learn, isn't there? How are you all on track at the moment?
There is a lot to learn, and we always have to work around people that maybe can't make all the rehearsals, which is normally quite a nightmare for me, having to sort out who I and when and what I can do. But we started rehearsing in January, and we've rehearsed every Friday. We rehearse in the evening, and then Sundays kind of kick in from March. So we only really meet twice a week. So it does involve them doing an awful lot of work in their own time at home as well. We kind of video bits so that they can look at it at home and make sure they're doing everything correctly. So it takes a long time.
Yeah, but they're all doing it, and they're all obviously all loving it. Will you send our very best wishes to you, but to the whole cast, because I know it's a lot to put on?
Of course.
How do we get hold of tickets?
Yeah. So tickets from the Riverside box office in Woodbridge. You can book online at any time, and I think the box office is open every day from 2:00. The tickets they're really flying out the door now, so if anybody wants one, I suggest they get in there quite quick. It's payday tomorrow, so there you go. What better way to spend 20 quid?
Definitely. You won't get a better night out. As I say, it's from Wednesday the 11th through to Saturday the 14th of June, the Riverside Musical Theatre Company Sister Act. Don't miss it. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. And I wish you all the best, and thanks for talking to us today, Sam.
Thank you very much for listening to me.
Treasure Island is coming to the new Wolsey Theatre in June from Tuesday the 10th to Saturday the 14th. And it's your chance to escape to Treasure Island with Navet Bet and their swashbuckling smash hit comedy, which is perfect for the whole family. Matt Freeman joins me now from Navet Bet. Now, I was lucky enough to catch you in The Three Musketeers and also Dracula the Bloody Truth. Now, Navet Bet, to explain to our listeners, Matt, is a multi-award-winning physical comedy can't even say it now. Start that sentence again. Too many teeth. Is a multi-award-winning physical comedy company based in Devon, but you're combined with one of the best comedy writers and directors, John Nicholson, and the result is you have this powerhouse of comedy which quite literally explodes onto the new Woolsey Theatre stage. Would you think that's a reasonable sum up of what the Navet Bet is all about?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're really lucky to be collaborating with John, and we've done so on our last, I think, about 5 or 6 touring shows. But yeah, it definitely is, a powerhouse of comedy, I think is about right. And explodes is probably the right word. We sort of small casts, generally speaking. So there's 3 or 4 of us in the cast for our touring shows. But we are literally falling in and off the stage in every way we can, bursting full of sort of slapstick comedy routines, fast-paced text, lots of costume changes, and the sort of ridiculous and the absurd alongside. So yeah, it's lots of fun. It's family friendly, and it's a riot. It is just a comedy riot.
It very much is. Now, tell us about this particular performance of Treasure Island. Don't give too much away, but just give us a flavour.
I think don't come expecting the Robert Louis Stevenson classic as a starting point. We use the book as a sort of way in, and then we follow Jim Hawkins on a journey to Treasure Island with some of the characters that you'll recognise with the book, and then a few extras that we've added along the way. One specific extra is a mermaid, and the main reason we added that was just an excuse for me to wear a mermaid tail, I think. So we've added some extra characters along the way, but I like to think that we deliver enough on our story, our version of Treasure Island. There's plenty of story in there to keep audiences intrigued along the way, and there's stakes, and there's intrigue, and there's interest, and you're invested in the characters. But there's also room for just sort of lots of irreverent comedy and silliness, and there's songs, and there's dances, and there's game shows, and there's audience interaction. It really sort of is full to the brim with lots of lovely little moments that bring the audience in and give the audience a really good night.
Oh, you're not wrong. It's the sort of thing you come away and your stomach aches because you've laughed so much, but in a really good way, and it's right from the beginning, right the way through. It really is fun for you as a performer. The audience love it. It's actually really hard, I think, because it's very fast-paced, as you said, and comedy is also difficult because it's about making sure that you land at the right time, and you're all brilliant at that. How much rehearsal time do you get, and how hard is that actually to perform in that kind of almost like free-fall slapstick way, but actually it's very, very cleverly put together so that, we're laughing and enjoying ourselves, but you must be thinking, oh my goodness, I need to be there and I need to do that, and that needs to be said. It's an awful lot going on, isn't there?
Yeah, there is loads going on, and of course it's like rehearsed within an inch of its life, but within that rehearsing within an inch of its life, what I think we're really good at as a company, and what we've got a really great reputation for, is making the audience feel like it isn't necessarily rehearsed within an inch of its life, so that you're never quite sure whether some of the moments are really meant to happen or they're not meant to happen. There's a sort of whites in the eyes of the actors while they're performing that give the audience a sort of uncertainty. It's like, is this the first time they've ever done this? And of course it isn't. And that relationship with the audience is really important. I think that what we sort of try to aim for is for the audience to feel comfortable in the unpredictable. So they don't really know what's going to come next. We don't know whether that's a narrative twist or turn, or whether that's just a crazy, sort of odd, surreal moments, divergence from the story. They don't know quite what's going to come next, but they're always sort of comfortable in the fact that we're in control of it, and that it's going to be funny. But we're fortunate enough to have brought shows to the New Wolsey, especially, that have been around a little while. Treasure Island, particularly, this one's been around a little while, and it keeps coming back out. And every time it comes back out, we find new things in it. We find fresh flavors. We're always learning as a company, so you sort of, you come to it a little bit differently every time you come back to a show. And it's really nice to continue to come back to Treasure Island and find new things, find new ways of sort of lifting it and making it more exciting for you. And I must admit, the New Wolsey is just a great stage for comedy. Like, there are some stages in the country where you go, it just works. I know you mentioned at the beginning, it's sort of spilling out, and that's what it feels like in there. The front row of the audience are virtually sat on the stage. It's one bank of seats just right in front of you. And you can really see the whites of the eyes of the actors. And I think that, from a comedy perspective, from an actor perspective, there really isn't that many spaces like that in the country. It's close, it's small, it's intimate. You've not got these high big ceilings or lots of big rows where there aren't any seats. It's packed full, and it's great for comedy. So we do love play. We really do love playing there, and we've built a really great following there over what seemingly seems quite a short period of time. So we're really, really pleased, and we're super excited to be going back.
Well, we're super excited to be having you back, Matt. It is going to be wonderful. It is one of the funniest things I think I've seen in a very long time. So I'm very much looking forward to this latest production of Treasure Island. As I say, it's the New Wolsey Theatre. It's from Tuesday the 10th through to Saturday the 14th of June. You can get your tickets by going to newwolseytheatre.co.uk. Wishing you all the best with it, and all the cast too. Lovely to talk to you, Matt. And I look forward to seeing you in June on stage, looking at the whites of your eyes.
Exactly that. Thank you very much for having me, Stephanie. Lovely. Cheers.
Last weekend, we were lucky enough to go to the Red Rooster Festival, which is held in the Euston Estate every year. It was in its 11th year this year, which was fantastic. You might have heard in a previous episode, we spoke to Henry Grafton, who is responsible for bringing all of the live acts across from Nashville and America to come and perform. And it was just brilliant. Such a great vibe. If you get a chance, you really need to go on their website. It's Red Rooster Festival. You can see all the acts that were coming up and who will be coming up again next year. Obviously, he's working on that right now. The estate itself is absolutely beautiful and so picturesque, and it's got a really lovely, relaxed, laid-back vibe. Everyone was really friendly. All the stall holders were really chatty. It's very family friendly. We just loved the whole thing from start to finish. Real mix of music as well. So although you're going to go there and you can hear lots of country music, there's people who are perhaps country stars singing some English songs. At one point they were singing Tainted Love by Soft Cell. It was just so cool, the whole thing. It was just brilliant. We absolutely loved it, and I can highly recommend it, definitely. So it is child friendly. You even got a chance to swim in the lake if you're brave enough. I didn't. Maybe next year, we'll see. If you have a look, I did a video on TikTok which I shared on our Ruby Shoes Facebook page, and that just gives you a flavour of the sort of festival it is. As far as outfits go, there was everything from someone dressed in jeans and a shirt to literally really flamboyant with all the glittered face paints and cowboy hats, and I saw men in chaps and men in holsters, with fake guns. I mean, literally everything. And the women, my goodness, I mean, everything goes. You could turn up in anything at all. I saw a lady in a ballerina tutu. I did rock my Stetson and cowboy boots. I mean, you have to, really, don't you? But equally, you'd be just well at home in a summer dress. I mean, it's just lovely. The whole thing, very, very welcoming. Some brilliant entertainment from the artists there as well. And just well done for all the staff. They were really friendly and really helpful. and just made the whole weekend go without a hitch. It was just fantastic. So do check it out, Red Rooster Festival, and have a look at that film as well. Might make you smile, especially when you see producer Ruby, who by the end of the weekend had just found her place, shall we say, her festival vibe. Here's even more great events happening around the region. Ipswich Art Society has its 145th annual art exhibition at St Clement's Art Centre in Ipswich, right by the waterfront on Star Lane. It's been running since May and it finishes this Saturday, the 7th of June. It's open every day from 10 a.m. through to 4:30 p.m. and the best bit is admission is free. If you Google Ipswich Art Society, you can see a full list of the exhibitors, including Taylor Beckett, who is the winner of this year's Mayor Prize for 2025. It's worth going along just to see the beautiful former church, which has been so lovingly restored, turned into a vibrant and useful hub for the local community.
What's on across Suffolk with Stephanie McIntyre, sponsored by Ruby Shoes Podcast, your weekly entertainment news podcast. Available from your smart speaker, Apple, Spotify, or you just follow Ruby Shoes Podcast on Facebook and click on the weekly podcast link to listen.
There's a host of great shows on offer across Suffolk's magnificent theatres, and here's just a selection to tempt you. London Classic Theatre's new touring production of Alan Ayckbourn's Just Between Ourselves is coming to the Theatre Royal in Bury St Edmunds from Tuesday the 3rd through to Saturday the 7th of June. 5 birthdays, 2 unhappy marriages, 1 possessive mother. In perhaps his most emotionally charged play, Alan Ayckbourn masterfully evokes a world of hidden tensions and suppressed hostility. He expertly navigates the tightrope between comedy and tragedy, guiding us towards a hilarious yet chilling finale. Go to theatreroyal.org for your tickets. Friday the 6th of June, this time at the Key Theatre in Sudbury. There's a light and a whistle for attracting attention by Henry Merriman. You've never seen Grease? Are you kidding? Okay, so there's this guy and this girl. In the beginning, there were stories. Stories of girls and women and men and love. So when she meets him, she knows the script, she's ready. But things are starting to go wrong and the stories she's been told don't serve her anymore. She doesn't fit the role. She needs to rewrite her part so she can be seen, be brave, take a breath. There's a light and a whistle for attracting attention is brought to you by award-nominated Play Nicely Theatre. To find out more, go to keysudbury.com and find your tickets there too. Saturday the 7th of June, this time at the Spa Pavilion Theatre in Felixstowe, 80s Live, the ultimate retro concert. You've made it through the wilderness somehow, you've made it through, and now we're never going to give you up. Get ready as they bring you direct from the Adelphi Theatre in London's West End, the biggest 80s party show to tour the UK, 80s Live. They're going to make you feel shiny and new as you travel back in time to one of the most iconic eras of music for the night out you've been dreaming of. Put your hands together and get into the groove as the live band Electric Dreams perform over 24 chart-topping anthems from Wham, The Weather Girls, Culture Club, Rick Astley, Madonna, Duran Duran, Soft Cell, The Human League, Aha, Tears for Fears and so many more. Go to spapavilion.uk to get your tickets. Saturday the 7th of June, this time at the Haverhill Arts Centre. Marty Wilde and his Wildcats. Marty began his career back in 1957 and his first UK chart hit, Endless Sleep, was one of the first British singers to play a leading part in the earlier formative and groundbreaking rock and roll years. Today, Marty celebrates 8 decades as a hit recording artist and songwriter. Hits for Kim Wilde, Status Quo, Tom Jones, Hot Chocolate, The Casuals, Lulu, etc. With his many hits including Teenager in Love, Endless Sleep, Donna, Sea of Love, Bad Boy, Rubberball, Jezebel, and so many others, plus a host of hit songs from a golden era, Marty Wilde and his fabulous band The Wildcats take you back to some of the most exciting musical times this country has ever experienced. Find out more at haverhillartcentre.co.uk. Also on Saturday the 7th of June, Danny Baker is at the Ipswich Corn Exchange for one night only. Ahoy, ahoy! The unstoppable talking Panjandrum is back in town, celebrating 50 years afloat on the showbiz seas. Dead men tell no tales, so might as well get them all told now. A vast 2 thundering hours guaranteed. Go to ipswichtheatres.co.uk to find out more. And finally, a reminder, the Felixstowe Book Festival is fast approaching, with many global award-winning and local authors to meet and chat to. It's all happening from Wednesday the 25th through to Sunday the 29th of June, with the main events at Harvest House in Felixstowe. To book your tickets, go to felixstowebookfestival.co.uk or just call in to Felixstowe Library every Thursday to purchase your tickets. And don't forget, you can always get in touch with us via our Facebook page. We're at Ruby Shoes Podcast. We always love to hear about your forthcoming plays, comedy nights, your Amdram groups, or any kind of show, festival or event in East Anglia. And we can let everybody else know about it too. You can listen again to the Ruby Shoes Podcast via Apple, Spotify, or your favourite podcast host. And you can find our podcast links on our Facebook page and follow us there too, of course. And you can also listen to Ruby Shoes now every week on YouTube. Yeah, just type in Ruby Shoes Podcast and there will be, and you can see all our past episodes as well. Make sure you have a great week. I'm Steph McIntyre and we really appreciate you listening to the Ruby Shoes Podcast, celebrating all the brilliant things we have when it comes to live theatre and entertainment.